Yo, it's me, innit? Today, we're doing the Jubbly Jive Barracuda Trials, starting with Swordfish Rank. To get there, simply head west from Corsair Cove to the location on the map. The requirements are 55 sailing, an inoculation station so you don't get diseased, and a mithril helm, which will allow you to sail in fetid waters without taking damage. Anything else is optional, but I recommend getting all available speed upgrades, easier hull, mast and sail. A teak hull is the same as a mahogany for speed, but the mahogany mast is better than teak, so make sure you have that. And now for the live example. So I'd like to attempt Jubbly Jive. We're going to do Swordfish Rank, which requires you do it in under 2 minutes and 3 seconds. There are 20 crates and 1 Jubbly. Luring the Jubbly is probably the hard part. We're taking the rapids on the right simply because it's closer, and then we turn left. Easy. And we need to touch this rapids and don't overturn. Don't end up in the bubbles. And from now, we're heading over, across. See how you can turn left or right? We're not doing that. That would be incorrect. We're going straight across. I say it's incorrect because I feel like this one has a set route you have to do, whereas the last ones really didn't. See these outcrops? You throw the toads at them to lure the Jubblies. Yeah, that might be... I don't know if that's too much information at once, but we're going to collect our balloon toads from this boat, like we did with the rum. And now, you just don't want to make sure... You want to make sure you don't end up in these bubbles. You'll notice that you can't throw the balloons at these yet, because these ones aren't needed for this rank, but they're needed for all the other ranks. So, next time you come through here on the next rank, you'll be throwing them. And as you can see, the Jubbly is here. So this is where the Jubbly always starts. The first one anyway. And here's the first outcrop we can throw at. So we're going to launch our toad. And it'll lure the Jubbly over there. Should be able to see it. It says squawk. And we're just going to keep heading around the outside. Around the outside. And collect our crates. We're not... Well, if we get that, great. We didn't need it. I'm going to try and launch the toad at that as soon as possible because it takes quite a while for him to travel sometimes. Yeah, I need to work on my throwing. Like you'll notice it takes quite a while for him to travel. That's why you want to do it sooner. 1 minute 56, 40 seconds is pretty decent. But basically, this route is the same at the start for all 3. Basically, you start all 3 pretty much the same. That's it for Swordfish. That's the easy one. And as always, this was Mikey Avelli, signing out.